All right, good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome you to our Fall 2020 Higher and Post-Secondary Education Applied Project poster session. Thank you all for being here. First, we'd like to, of course, welcome our presenters and our graduate students who will be sharing with you all shortly about some of the work that they've done over the last 15 weeks, although in many cases for many of our students, this represents a longer engagement with the topic, whether it's through their own professional careers or through practicum experiences. But what this culminating project will give you an opportunity to do is to learn a little bit more about the things that they've been able to research and gather data on and share findings related to critical and timely issues within higher and post-secondary education context. I should have started by saying my name is Kia McGuire. I'm an associate professor in the higher and post-secondary education program. My gender pronouns are he, him, and his. Um, and I would also like to acknowledge the ancestral homelands of the Acme, Atham, and Peepash peoples' lands, which we all are working from and learning on. And so I would like to start by simply sharing a little bit about the program and more importantly, where this project fits within that within students' learning experiences. And then I'll turn it over to my colleague, Dr. McIntyre, who will share a little bit more about the floor of the events for today. Again, our higher and post-secondary education program is an opportunity and a learning experience that's really geared to prepare professionals to work in a variety of contexts on college and university campuses. One of the things that has become a core identity of our program has been the process by which we help and work alongside students as they learn ways to gather data, analyze data, all in the service of improving higher education practice and policy wherever they may be located. And so this applied inquiry or applied project, that poster session that you see here today is a culmination of a 15-week exercise or experience. During the first 7.5 weeks, our students have an opportunity to design a project. Of course, these projects are oftentimes very ambitious, and over our 15 weeks, we are able to pare it down into something that is not only manageable, but that will be impactful with the data that they're able to gather. And then in this session B of the semester, students are able to carry out their research project. And we'll get a little bit towards this at the end of the session today when we give some thank yous, but you should know this represents not only the work of our students and the faculty who are in the classroom, but also a number of mentors who sign up to work with students along and help give feedback on their projects as they're being designed and carried out. So we look forward to you all engaging with our students today, asking them questions, learning about their research, and hopefully having a very invigorating conversation. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. McIntyre, who will say a little bit more about how the rest of the afternoon will be spent.
Thank you. Hi there. My name is Lisa McIntyre. I am an executive director in the University Provost Office at ASU and teach in the Master in Higher Ed program. The applied project is one of my favorite classes because, as Dr. McGuire said, this is about the topics that the students are most interested in. And so I always learn a lot about topics that I maybe don't get exposure to on a regular basis. So I hope all our guests have that same experience. Our students will be presenting in small breakout rooms of 3 to 4 folks. Dr. McGuire is going to put a link in the chat where you can find the Zoom breakout room link for the individual that you're here to support or the breakout room that you're most interested in. They are grouped by topics. We ask that you mute your microphones. You're all doing a great job of that if you're not the one presenting. We will present in order of the link that Dr. McGuire just shared. There will be a facilitator in the room to just kind of make sure all the technical pieces go right. They will be recorded sessions. We also ask that you hold all your questions until all of the presentations in your breakout room are complete, and then we'll open up that session for questions. We do encourage you to ask questions. These folks are experts on this topic and have spent a lot of time and energy becoming experts. And so this is a great opportunity for them to answer any questions that you might have. Once all the presentations in your breakout room are complete, we ask you to come back to this main session room for us to wrap up the program. So with that, Dr. McGuire, anything I missed or you want to add before we break out?
Nope, that's it. And please reach out to us for any questions that you might have. Dr. McIntyre and I will be moving from room to room. I see that I just got a message in the chat asking, can individuals move from room to room? Yes, as long as you're not a presenter. So all of our guests beyond the students are able to again move as you would like to bounce around to hear different topics of conversation and discussion. And so again, at this time, we'll give folks about 5 to 7 minutes to make your way over to your rooms. For our students who are on the call, again, look at the sheet as well so that you can go to the room that you will be in. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So thank you and welcome all again.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tori Passarelli, and I did my study on the impact that the COVID-19 stay-at-home order had on undergraduate students' wellness. So on January 30th of 2020, the Health and Human Services declared the coronavirus outbreak a public health emergency in the United States. This forced a lot of states to close down almost completely, including public gym facilities and other restrictions. Previous research has suggested that exercise is essential to the human mind and body, and it's even more so during a pandemic when people are isolated and mental health issues can increase. I was a prior college athlete, so I'm very active. I enjoy working out, and the stay-at-home order affected my physical activity regimen. So I was interested in how it affected other college students on the undergraduate level. The purpose of my survey or my research was to examine the experience of these undergraduate students throughout the duration of the COVID-19 stay-at-home order, specifically at Arizona State. And my research question was, how did the stay-at-home order impact undergraduate students' physical activity regimen, if it did at all? For my methodology, I used an online survey. It was administered through the Dean of Students at the ASU West Campus. For those of you joining us, there's 4 campuses, and mine was administered at the West Campus. And the survey consisted of 17 questions. The Dean of Students actually administered it for me, since the population I was examining consisted of the students who worked at the Sun Devil Fitness Complex and the Student Activities and Conference Services student employees, which I was doing my management internship under. So to avoid any conflict of interest or any incentive for students to answer, the Dean of Students sent it on my behalf. It was voluntary and anonymous. And out of the 163 student employees that he sent it to, I got 43 responses. For my findings, I broke it down into 4 different components. The 4 were the type of workout, the location of the workout, the frequency of workout, and the motivator to work out. So my first section was the type of workout. And this question on the survey had 12 options for students to choose from. The 13th was other, and they could kind of fill in the blank if I didn't cover it. But some examples that students were given were HIIT workouts, weightlifting, body weight workouts, water aerobics, cardio, things like that. And I grouped body weight workouts and weightlifting together under training. And majority of students prior to the stay-at-home workout engaged in physical activity by doing strength training. And 62% were cardio, which included like ellipticals, water aerobics, things like that. During the stay-at-home workout, I found that it decreased to only 39% of strength training, which makes sense because students didn't have access to the gym equipment that they were probably using prior. And out of the 39%, only 13% was weightlifting. So the other portion of the 39% was strictly body weight, which again makes sense because some students probably didn't have any weights at their house that they were confined to. Prior to the stay-at-home order, only one participant indicated that they did not engage in physical activity, and 8 participants indicated that they did not engage in physical activity during the stay-at-home order. So that was definitely an increase from that. When I examined the social aspect of working out, I found that only 0.09% never had a accountability partner or never worked out with anybody like a friend prior to the stay-at-home order, but that increased drastically to 80% during the stay-at-home order. So 80% of students indicated they did not have any accountability partner during the stay-at-home order. This question on the survey was multiple choice, so, or sorry, select all that apply so that they could, you know, if they did one workout one day and another, they were all accounted for. And prior, there were 34 different combinations, and during that decreased to only 19. For prior and during both time frames, the strength training was most popular. For the location of the workouts, students indicated that prior to the stay-at-home order, 65% worked out at a gym, and that decreased significantly during to only 0.06. During the stay-at-home order, obviously because they were closed, and the at-home workouts increased to 47% from 35. And after the restrictions were lifted, when gyms started to reopen here in Arizona, less than half of the students indicated that they returned to a gym facility, and they reported that they would continue to use their accommodated workouts, which were the ones they were doing during the stay-at-home order, which was interesting. And I found that, you know, future research could look at the why behind this behavior. For my frequency segment of my findings, I found that prior to the stay-at-home order, majority of students worked out 3 to 4 days per week. And that decreased to only 1 to 2 days per week that the majority of students were working out during the stay-at-home orders. There was a definite decrease in that. And again, one student reported they did not engage in physical activity prior to the stay-at-home order, and there was an increase of 7 students who didn't work out during the stay-at-home order, which again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, research suggested that working out during a pandemic environment is definitely crucial. It's crucial without it, so it definitely takes a toll on the mind and body. My last segment of my findings was the motivation for working out. And this question, it was the last question on the survey, and they were given 10 different options. They consisted of physical appearance, mental health, gain weight, lose weight, rehabilitation, things like that. And I just asked them to rank it from 1 to 10, 1 being most important and 10 being the least important reason why they work out. And I found that the top motivation was physical appearance for why students work out. And the second highest ranked motivator was to improve mental health, which again, the physical and mental aspects of working out coincide together. The lowest ranked motivator was to gain weight and lose weight equally. They were equal percentages that usually ranked 10 as least important. So implications I found throughout my research was the mental and physical aspect of everything. Right now in the United States, there's an increase in suicide and depression rates, and a lot of different research is, you know, faulting COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order and the different social distancing regulations and stuff to be at fault for that. And so I think it'd be, or I don't know, I found that a lack of physical activity that I saw in the students that I researched from prior to the stay-at-home order to during, there was a definite decrease. So I wonder if that had anything to do with, the increased suicide and depression rates and mental health issues that we're currently seeing. A lot of the students that were surveyed work at the student or Sun Devil Fitness Complex, which is our gym facility on all 4 ASU campuses. And it was interesting for me to see that majority of students reported not returning to the gym. And however, it is open. I know that the SCFC is open, and so students are returning to work. So I just think it's interesting that they're there working their shifts, but they're not, going back to working out either before or after their shifts. And my last implication is just, thinking about the reason why students are not returning to their pre-COVID-19 workout regimens. I know for ASU campuses, students have to reserve a time slot to work out that can't exceed 60 minutes. You have to reserve different machines to use, and you have to wear your mask throughout the entire duration of your workout. So these could be reasons why individuals are not returning to their pre-COVID-19 workout regimens. And it would be interesting to see if other individuals outside of ASU and undergraduate populations are experiencing the same thing at public gyms. That concludes my presentation. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. So thank you for that, Jordan. So I have to say, this is my first time participating in a virtual poster session, and that felt like a whirlwind, but in a good way. So thank you all for your presentations. Both Dr. McIntyre and I had an opportunity to hop around from room to room. I'm actually going to stop talking and turn over to Dr. McIntyre, and I'll say a little bit more to close us out at the end.
All right. I just wanted to congratulate all of you. You should be very proud of what you did. I know this semester was like none other. Just like Dr. McGuire, that was my first virtual poster session. And I just want to commend you all on your resilience and determination in making it work. We had all kinds of fun challenges to work through, and we all did it and had great communication. And I think you all, just the potential is limitless for all of you. So I wish you all the best of luck. I hope to hear updates from you all where your careers take you, and always here as a resource for you all. So I see all the applause and celebrations going up. It might be a bit much to unmute and do a round of applause, but want to thank all the guests, family members who were able to join us today. That is one of the great things about our virtual opportunity, is that I think we might have been able to expand our audience a bit more. We will be sharing recordings with the students. So if you weren't able to have a guest join us today, please share it with them. There's no way any of us would have made it through this program without all the support of our family and friends. And I also want to thank our colleagues. So every student in this part of the project has access to a professional mentor who's met with them multiple times throughout the semester and giving them feedback and encouragement. And so thank you all for doing that for our students. It really was great to see the feedback and insights, and having that other perspective to bounce ideas around was really helpful and benefited the work. So all right, well, I'll stop gushing. Dr. McGuire, what did you have?
Yeah, so just one more thank you before we move on, which is to Jody and her team, who have handled all the logistical responsibilities for today, is setting up the virtual rooms, making sure that all the Zoom links work, and making sure that we have facilitators in each room. So thank you to Jody, Ashley, Pinnock, Liam, Caitlin, for your support and making sure that this program went off without any hiccups. So thank you all very much for making this easy for Dr. McIntyre and myself. I also would just like to echo Dr. McIntyre and thank our mentors. Usually we have like mentors and program instructors like raise their hand. I think there's a reaction to do that. So if you know how to raise your hand or put a thumbs up, maybe if you want to put a thumbs up, how about that? So that we can acknowledge all of our mentors and program faculty who teach and work alongside our students throughout the program. Your support is sincerely and deeply appreciated. As you all know, I think one of the biggest strengths of our program is that we have meaningful and long-lasting relationships with individuals who are educators and scholars working both at ASU, but also across the valley, and sometimes as well as in other states. And so we appreciate the support that you provide and the mentorship and the learning that you, or the way that you help to expand the learning of our students in our program. So thank you very much for that. And most importantly, I want to say congratulations and thank you to our students. I'm sure it cannot go overstated, I think, how unique this semester has been. And you all continue to approach the project and your capstone experience with enthusiasm, with a level of dedication, a level of flexibility and creativity that I think I was just excited to see and gave me also energy as I entered and worked with you all over the last 7.5 weeks. And so I know very few things feel like it's normal as far as celebrating things in this particular context, but we do hope that you will find time to honor this moment in some way, to reflect back on all of the hard work that you've accomplished over your time in the program, and that you are able to enjoy at least a moment of reprieve with family and friends and colleagues, because what you have accomplished not only today and throughout the semester, but over the program is definitely worth celebrating. And it's been our pleasure to be on this journey alongside of you. So there's just two more things before we wrap up. So first one is kind of an announcement of sorts, which is at the very end, we'll ask all mentors, program faculty, and students to stay on the call so that we can take a photo. We may have to take multiple photos. I actually don't know how this works, taking photos in Zoom, but Jody will be here to assist us with that. And also every semester during the capstone experience, we have an opportunity to recognize a student, one of your colleagues and peers, who is nominated by program faculty as a recognition for their achievement and contributions, both inside and outside of the classroom, to the higher and post-secondary education program. And so this year we'll have an opportunity to do the same. And what I'm going to do is just share very briefly what one nominator said about this particular student before I announce who the student is. And again, we and Lindsay, Dr. Dipple, who was on the call, normally does this part and does it much more eloquently than I do as I fumble through this process. But it's really an opportunity for us to recognize a peer who has made significant contributions, who has also impressed upon faculty with their dedication, not simply in this course, but throughout the program, and is therefore worthy of the nomination. We usually will hand you a piece of paper or a certificate of an award framed. We will have to connect after this in order to pass that along to you. But one nominator said about this student, that this student is extremely engaged. They also demonstrate a high level of intellectual curiosity, and they also not only work well with students, but embrace collaboration, and that this student in particular deserves recognition for their outstanding contributions that they made to the learning environment within and across classrooms. And so without further ado, that student is Dakota Weber. So let's give Dakota a round of applause. And also, Dakota, congratulations. I know you didn't know this was happening. You and I can connect after to make sure that you get your certificate and award. But again, congratulations, and for an award that's well deserved. Okay. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So we're going to stop there. Again, thank you for everyone who came and visited with us. We'll ask for the students and program faculty and mentors to stay on so that we can get one picture, and we'll share that out with everyone as well.